see any harm at all in stopping along the way to have lunch with a woman he knew from the days of Wayland Academy, this very pretty young thing and friend named Mary Balzer. Dad said, there's nothing wrong, it's just lunch. And besides, his friend was pinned to another man. But they had such a good time that they talked way past the time Dad was supposed to have picked up the other woman. And in fact, he never made it up north to take her to the dance. Now, I do have to say in Dad's defense, he felt very badly. He did drive up and apologize to her personally. But that pretty friend who was pinned to another guy, well, we three kids are here today because Mom and Dad connection was meant to be. And the other thing Dad would occasionally reminisce about another key decision, and that was about moving up here to Oregon. For many decades, he and Mom enjoyed sharing their lives and embracing all of you here today as part of their family. Know that he loved you very, very deeply, and he was so appreciative of being a part of your family too. Sandy?
Well, I guess I represent the Salem part of Terry's life. I met Terry because of Mary. She hired me to teach school at Silvercrest in 1976-77. Mary interviewed me, and when the interview was over, she said, I'll show you around the school. And as we were walking around, she said, I really want you to take the job. And I said, okay, because there weren't a lot of jobs, and it was the first positive job offer I had. Okay. And she said, I just knew that you were going to be special because your name is McLean. And that's my husband Terry's middle name. And she said, and it's a family name. And I went, wow. I said, that's interesting because my mother's name, maiden name, was Mary Johnson. And so Mary had this mystic thing going on, this psychic thing that, that I was going to be a good person to hire. And what's funny about that is, as mystical and, she believed in kind of the woo-woo stuff, Terry was just the opposite. He was logical and sensible, and he would just chuckle when Mary would do stuff like that. He just kind of laughed like, oh, Mary, But anyway, she thought it was a sure thing. And Terry wholeheartedly always supported everything that Mary did. And so Mary was so into that school and so into everything that she did there that Terry just, he went along with all of it, and he supported it with his whole heart. They had an 8th grade graduation picnic at their house every single year. Mary Jane Brizard is here, and she was the teacher of those 8th graders. And it was an all-day thing. The kids would come to Mary and Terry's house. Their parents would bring them, and sometimes their parents would hang around for a while. Mary and Terry were the perfect hosts. And it had to be so much work for them, the shopping and the setting up games and preparing everything. And Terry took it in stride and was a gracious, gracious host. He greeted everybody like they were, personal friends of his. And he just had a gift for making everybody feel like they were part of his family. They were welcomed and valued. Terry also attended all the programs up there, all the Christmas programs and the graduations at the school. They had this habit of always inviting the staff out, anybody that wanted to go after these programs. And so we'd go out and have a drink. And Terry would always go over secretly and pay it all off. So we'd get our purses and our wallets, and we'd be ready to go and pay the bill, and it was paid. And that was Terry. He would just go over and take care of it. Mary also always referred to Terry, I heard her say this hundreds of times, as my dear, sweet husband. And that's what she'd say about it. And it was never a joke. She meant it. Abby Green, who's here today, who's a Silvercrest teacher, remarked to me that she never heard either one of them ever say a mean or sarcastic thing about the other. And I didn't either. I never heard that. They were so respectful and loving to each other. And maybe that's why their marriage lasted 60 plus years. They spoiled each other. Mary catered to Terry's food likes and dislikes, and they did so many fun things together, like watching their football games and taking trips. And Abby also remarked that when sitting in a room with them, you could just feel the love that they had for each other. But that didn't mean that Terry didn't tease her once in a while. He'd tease her about her fast driving. He would tease her about her catalog shopping. This is the days before you ordered online. I can't even imagine what she would have done with online ordering. But the UPS truck delivered things to their house almost every day. And Mary shopped, but it was Terry who, when it came time for all the birthdays and Christmas, who fastidiously wrapped all of those presents. Every fold was perfect. Every piece of tape was perfect. Mary shopped, and Terry wrapped. And boy, did he have a lot of wrapping to do. Our older boys remember Christmas when they were in high school, and Terry fooled them by wrapping up several Pepsi cans in the boxes to weigh them down because there were gift cards inside, and it would just make it too easy for them to figure out what it was. I made a picture poster. It's in the lobby of our family and some of the special times that we shared with Terry and Mary. We'll treasure our memory of those days. This is hard. My sons never knew grandfathers, and Terry was really one to them. He was the best role model that we could find. Okay, I'm done. My husband Doug remembers Terry, very father knows best, like sitting in his chair in the house on Hertel, a Duraflame log on the fire, and a Wall Street Journal right next to it. Sometimes his gin and tonic would be there too. He also remembers Terry, the way when he talked about things, he personified things. So if he was clipping a bush outside, he'd say, "That guy just did the trick," and he'd be referring to his new pruning shears. Another memory about Terry was his dislike of certain foods. Mary told me this story. Some friends came for dinner, and the wife brought a pea salad. And Terry definitely did not like peas. But he was such a nice guy. He took a tablespoon on his plate and kind of stirred it around, and took a few bites, but then smiled a lot. And the wife asked him if he liked it. And he said, "Oh, yes." But his attempt to be nice backfired on him because she kept making it for him, because he had said he liked it so much. Well, after I heard that, I wondered about the many times he ate at my house, and which foods he liked and which foods he didn't. But he always smiled and never said anything about it. Another thing our family noticed about Terry was his driving. We eventually bought a house not too far from their house on Hertel. And we passed Terry on the road, and we'd, "Oh, wait, there's Terry, there's Terry." And he'd never look, and he'd never smile, and he was just focused on just driving straight down the road. So I asked Mary about it, and she said, "Well, that's just the way he is. He's just really focused when he drives." Well, one day, at rush hour traffic, Mary's car broke down on Commercial. And she was walking up the street, and that day, her usual school attire was a fur jacket, real fur coat, and a skirt, and her Nike tennis shoes. And so she got her car off the road, and she goes, "Well, it's about 5 o'clock, so Terry's going to be driving by from downtown Salem." So I'll just kind of keep my eyes peeled for him. So she's walking along Commercial in her fur coat at rush hour, and she's watching for Terry. And she gets up there towards Ross, and she sees him. And now she's standing on the corner, trying to get him to stop and pick her up. And he went right on time. Didn't even see her. Oh, I think she was a little bit peaked when she got home. That he didn't stop and pick her up. Well, it's so rare to find somebody like Terry, who was such a nice guy. And he made our family feel like we were part of their family, and vice versa. And he's just somebody that we'll never forget.
and son of Terry Jr. over there. And I guess first I should say that my brother Chris wishes he was here, and is thinking about Grandpa today. I want to make sure I conveyed that to everyone. And we were talking in Tucson a few weeks ago, and there was a brief memorial, and kind of sharing stories, and we we're trying to come up with the right story to properly give tribute to Grandpa. Something that best described him for who he was, what kind of man he was, and what he represented. And we were talking, giving stories, but I think we all quickly realized that someone as special as my grandfather, we probably weren't going to find out one story to identify who he was, because really every memory and story was very similar, because just to know my grandpa was to love him, and to love and appreciate just the positive way in which he lived his life. I think all of you are here today because each of us has a story, story after story, that reminds us why he was so special. But for me, I'll remember a few things the most. I'll remember being excited every day for the day trip drive down to Salem to see him as a kid. My parents remember me falling asleep on the car on the way home. I don't know if we would even make it off the hotel before I would crash. Out of sheer exhaustion from spending the day with them. I'll remember caddying for him, which was mostly sitting in the golf cart and sneaking me juicy fruit and regular Coke, because my brother was a diabetic, so he would sneak that to me. But just thinking it was the coolest thing ever to spend that time with my father and my grandfather. I remember fishing on Diamond Lake during the day and being taught how to play poker in the evening. I think I might have been 5 or 6 at the time.